welcome back to the TheScottRe Project, and today we are going to be doing something special, another one of my traditional butchery preparations. Today we are going to be making Bath chaps. No one is making these anymore. They used to be made up until about 10 years ago. You could get them everywhere, but this really is a dying art, a dying skill. Shame really. What it does, it uses up the meaty part of the pig's head. It's cured like a ham and then boiled and then dressed with breadcrumbs, and it is something special. And today I am going to show you how to make it. It's another one of those videos, you know, that I like to document because this really is a dying art. And the reason it's called Bath chaps, originated in Bath in the West Country, very popular, you know, down the southwest of England, Somerset and that region. And I just want to show you and archive it before it's lost forever. So to make this, you start off with your pig's head. This is a very sorry looking specimen. And what we need to do is basically just saw the head straight in half. So, by the magic of camera, we have our head cut straight down the middle. So, we've got our two halves. So to make our bath chaps then, we want to incorporate the jowl, the cheek, where all that lovely meat is and all that fat. So if I can show you, you want to take all that meat and just through to where the mouth is, and then just get your saw in and saw it through. Nice workout. Who needs the gym when you can saw a pig's head in half? You're left with the piece we are going to be making our bath chap out of. Quite a meaty piece. So we do the same to the other side. If I can show you, catching all that meat just below the ear down to its mouth, and again we get our saw and saw through. So that's our other chap for our bath chaps. And obviously what's left of this pig's head, make yourself a little brawn or head cheese, fromage de tête. I have got a video. If you look in the comments down there, you'll see a video for that. Or save the ears, boil them down, and once they're cooked, take them out, cool them, press them, slice them, brush them with mustard, breadcrumbs, and fry them. This will not go to waste. This will make a great little brawn. But we're concentrating on these beautiful things. We're going to make our bath chaps. So what we need to do is cure this like we would a ham, and we are going to make a brine and wet cure it. So we'll go and sort out our brine, but that is what you need to make those lovely bath chaps. And believe me, at the end of it, I know it looks a bit gruesome to start with, but the finished product is absolutely amazing, and I'm just happy that I can archive this. You know, it's what I love to do, traditional butchery preparations. If any of you have seen my brawn, my white puddings, my haslet, these really are the art of the artisan butcher. And yes, I know I said it before, but hardly anybody is doing this anymore. It's a shame really. You know, this is nose to tail butchery, using every part of the animal. Right, here endeth the lesson. Let's go and get that brine sorted. So before we brine these in, I just want to take any undesirable bits off. like these glands, as you can see. Just going to cut them out. Same with this side. And you need to make sure you've got a container which will fit both of these so they're well submerged. Just trim it up. They look perfect. I've just washed the bone dust off. The container I'm using is this plastic beauty, and they should fit perfectly inside there. You want them so they stay submerged, and we're going to be making a brine. The weight or the measurement in liquid is going to be a gallon, so 8 pints. So we'll get all the ingredients together and we'll make that brine, and then we'll put these in to cure. Okay then, for my brine for these Bath chaps. Now there are hundreds of recipes for brines, and a lot of you guys out there who are into charcuterie, and on a lot of the forums I go on, we've all got our own recipes. There's loads of good recipes in some good books like Jane Grigson's charcuterie and so on and so forth, but this is the one I am going to be using today. So in my pot I have got some water bubbling away. I'm just going to take the heat out of that. I've got a gallon of water there, so 8 pints. Into that I'm going to add 1 pound of brown sugar, 1 pound of sea salt. I'm going to put in 4 bay leaves, which I'm just going to snap to release their oils. Now this SaltPetre, 2 ounces is going in. Get in there. I am going to put a few sprigs of thyme, and in here, if you can look, I've got some cloves, some juniper berries, if I can get one out, and then some peppercorns in the bottom, and I've got 10 of each. Now what I'm going to do with those, I'm just going to put them in a bag and lightly bruise them and add them to my mix. But I'm just going to dissolve all these ingredients. We want to bring it to the boil and let it simmer. Now that smells absolutely fantastic. Have a smell of that. So that goes in, and like I said, just bring it up to the boil to dissolve all of the ingredients. Just simmer it for a few minutes. We will then let it cool, and as soon as it's cooled we will get our pig's chaps in there, and we'll leave it, like I said, for anything between 3 to 7 days, as long as it's fully submerged. Okay then, so once you have boiled your cure and let it cool completely, all you do, like I said before, in a non-reactive container, because you don't want to be using metal, you don't want any reaction with the salt in the cure, just tip your cure all over your pig cheeks, jowls, whatever you want to call them, so they are fully submerged. Now, I said we're going to leave this for between 3 and 7 days. Well, the old curer's adage was a day for every pound of meat. So these weighed 5.5 pounds, so I'm going to leave it for 5.5 days. And all I'm going to do is every day I shall take them out and just turn them over and put them back in. And you really want to make sure they're fully submerged all the time. There's a sign of a good cure. Look, they float. So all I do is just weigh it down with this ramekin style thing, put the lid on, and I will keep that in my refrigerator. Temperature about 38 degrees Fahrenheit, between 3 and 4 centigrade, at a nice constant temperature. Like I said, take it out every day, turn them, job's a good one. So these beauties, all tucked up nice in bed, we'll get them in the refrigerator, take them out in 5 days and cook them. Sleep well, my little princess. So the day has arrived to cook these lovely Bath chaps. First thing I want to do though, get going, is my cooking liquid, my poaching liquid. So with a big pot, it's half filled with water. I'm just bringing it up to the boil. I'm going to add 2 chopped leeks. It's a bit of a basic mirepoix this. 2 onions that have been quartered. Leave the root on and they'll stay together. I've got 1 head of garlic which I've just cut in half. That can go in. 2 carrots. Leave the skin on. Chop them roughly. They can go in. And I've just made a really simple bucchigani. Just some thyme, some parsley, and a few little aromats. There's 2 tablespoons of peppercorns and about 4 or 5 cloves. So I should just get that ticking over gently and it will start to fill the kitchen up with fantastic smells. Time to get our chaps out of the brine, wash them off, get them in and cook them. In here is something special. 5.5 days in the brine. I can't wait. Let's have a look at these lovely, I mean, if you can get turned on about half a pig's face. Look at these. Now that brine, do not waste it. You can use that again. I am going to put some brisket in that and do some salt beef. But for a moment, that can go over there. And here we have our lovely brined Bath chaps ready to cook. Now, what we need to do with these is rinse these off in cold water, pat them dry, and we'll get them laid in our pot. But if your partner says to you, you know, there's no way I'm going to eat that, just do this. Turn the other cheek. Just turn the other cheek. Be the better person. Say, look, when this is finished, it's going to be the best thing you've ever seen. They've been washed off. They look a million miles better than they did when they came out of the brine. It's time to get them into my pot. How good does that look in there? I mean, I could jump in there and take a bath. It smells amazing. Look at the colours. It's just befitting these beautiful cheeks. So we're going to get these in. 1, 2. Make sure they're submerged. And if we have to add a bit more water as it goes along, we shall do so. So these want to boil for between 1.5 and 3 hours. So just checking them after an hour and then every half an hour after. And if the bones pull out easily, it's done. We don't want to take it too far so it's just a jellified mess. So just keep an eye on it. But we're going to bring that to the boil just gently, turn it down and then just simmer it at about 80 degrees. Like I said, I'm going to guess about 2 hours, but we'll check it in an hour. Just before I forget, put in 3 bay leaves. Just going to gently just squash them to release their oils. Now, like I said, we don't want this boiling. I'm just bringing it up to heat. I'm going to turn it down. You just want it popping. Real gentle, ticking it over. A gentle, gentle boil. We are just over the hour cooking mark, as you can see. And you can see how gentle that boil is. Let's just have a look at this fantastic cauldron of porky goodness. If I can get one of these cheeks to show you. You can see the meat just gently pulling away from those bones. Not quite ready yet. So we'll give it another hour. I thought about 2 hours. So we'll check on that in a while. But how good does that look? The humble pig's head turned into something spectacular. Right, not a bad guess. This has been 2.25 hours. Just look how good that looks. And I shall show you. You can see the bones sticking up proud. If I was to give it a little tug, as you can see, how easy that would slip out. That is absolutely perfect. So I shall get that one out into my bowl. And then the same with this one. Obviously, don't get your hands in there all hot. Just take your time. let it cool down, and then you won't burn yourself. So I'll just show you how easy that comes out. No pressure, just with one finger. Just want to take that bit off there because I don't want to rip it. And there you have one jawbone out. And that in there should pretty much be boneless. But what we'll do, we'll let it cool down till it's manageable. And trim it up a bit. I like to skim a little bit of the skin off before we dress it in breadcrumbs. You don't have to, that's just my preference. But we'll finish off this product when it's cooler. So, they have cooked and they are just gently cooling. Now, the traditional method for this is you can leave the skin on. But I am going to just take a little bit of the skin off and just trim off that jaw bit there, just to give it a little bit more shape. You can actually wrap these in cling film to get the desired shape, but it should look just like this, like half a cone. But if you just gently get your knife in, just nice and gentle, shave some of that skin off. Like I said, nose to tail eating, making the most of every part of the animal. And this, when cooled and dressed with breadcrumbs, will make a lovely little ham. Out of those two jowls, we got these lovely nuggets of meat, and it is pure meat. We're going to let it cool a bit. And these preparations, you know, they take time, but what you are doing is using the whole of the animal. And you know, these things, they are dying out. You know, they need to come back, because what you've got there, when you see the finished article, are two fantastic, I suppose, mini hams. But we'll let those cool a bit, we'll dress them, and then we'll slice them. Right, we are just going to finish these off by dressing these in breadcrumbs. And it's just the fat side you dress. And this is the way it's always been done. Like I said, I am sticking to the traditional method. And then it's back in the fridge for the final chill, for them to really firm up. So, Scott, you crazy Englishman, I hear you cry. What did you achieve for all that time, that work, and that effort? Well, here, let me show you our fantastic Bath chaps. And if you think of what we started with, that pig's head, which a lot of butchers chuck away now, and most of them don't even have the heads when the pigs come in, just goes to show, with a little bit of skill and a little bit of knowledge, this is what you can achieve. So it's only fair, I think, to cut a slice and let's have a look, let's have a taste. Maestro, music, please. There you have it. Fantastic. And I know, you know, times have moved on and tastes change, but when tastes change, traditions die. You know, not a lot of people are making this. I have said that several times through the video, but I did, just checking on my computer, find a farm shop who is now still making these, and they're charging $8.86 a kilo, which is brilliant. And it's not the price bit I find brilliant, it's just that someone is still keeping this tradition alive. So, how to serve this, or what to serve with it? You could cut a thicker slice, fry it gently in the pan with a fantastic free range egg, or we could keep it real, have a nice pint of dry West Country cider and some pickles or some mustard. And there's only one mustard, Coleman's. Seek it out. I am going to try a bit of this delicacy, and if you look, the layers of fat and meat, but that's all cheek in there, so it's a fantastic cut of pork. Let's cut us a nice slice, get some mustard on, and down the hatch. Oh, it brings a tear to the eye. I don't know if it's the mustard or the tradition. Either way, I'm going to have me another bit. So if you ever get the chance, my friends, please have a go at this. You'll be stepping back a time, and I'm just going to leave the last word to the late, great Jane Grigson. I'm going to read from my battered copy of her fantastic book. Bath chap. Serve chilled and sliced thinly with the usual accompaniments. Hard-boiled eggs, green salad, mashed potato, French mustard, perhaps pickled walnuts, capers or gherkins. Wow, wise words indeed. I'm just going to stick to the cider, the English mustard and the Bath chap. Beautiful. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen here today on the Scott Reed Project, please subscribe to the channel. I release a new video every week, and there are loads more to come, especially these great old school butchery masterclasses. Also find me on Facebook and Twitter at the Scott Reed Project. Also, you know, leave feedback, give me comments, and I will try and answer it as soon as possible. As you can imagine, I have loads, but I will get back to you. Most of all, subscribe it, like it, and share it, and spread the word. And until next time, take care. I'll see you again. I'm going to get the pan on, fry up a slice, maybe have a pint, and go and lie down in a dark room. All the best.